Have you ever wanted to become a fairy? Hey guys, my name is RGB. If you just connected to the server, welcome. If you're already a regular, welcome home. The Winx Club is a show that's been on my mind for quite a while when searching for video topics. If you are lurking around TVs from 2004 to 2019, I'm pretty sure that you at least once caught a glimpse of this beautiful Harry Potter and Sailor Moon amalgamation. If you're anything like me, the show's aesthetic and premise of beautiful, stylish girls saving the world definitely enamored you to watch a few episodes too. I've personally been very worried towards tackling them because I don't have many criticisms towards the show. I know that like any other piece of media, it's full of holes and jarring animation errors that undoubtedly give away its time of production, but it's something I hold with a high regard, so I never felt like disrupting its legacy by posting my own version of it online. But alas, that's what we're here to do today, folks! We're going to be redesigning the civilian forms for the main cast, including Aisha. I don't know if I'm saying her name correctly. I know that the Winx reboot has been a little highlighted in recent months regarding the show using AI art for all of its concept art and promotional pictures, which is really disheartening. It's something that's constantly haunting us artists, and I really wish there was somewhere in the world where we could be safe with our creativity and passion without it being constantly threatened and diminished by our peers. If only... Wait, I know a place! My Pokey Bear Unvale! The place where your story begins. Unvale is a place where you can upload and share your creations with other artists. You can showcase all of your OC brain rot and that 1 billion world-long piece of word building you've been keeping inside your drawers for ages. The platform is completely AI-free and is a home for every creative mind and dream. You can rest assured that when uploading the labor of your hard work onto Unveil, it will be safe from any evil AI slop machine. The site gives you a lot of features to work with. It gives you the ability to create worlds to put each of your characters in, and you can also create unique profiles for each of your OCs where you can expand on your character traits and personal lore and whatever the hell you want to put there, honestly. The platform is interactive all over, so there's a bunch of space for you to talk and be social to other people. And the question of the day is a very fun interactive little thing we have on the site, and I love to answer from our own OCs whenever I see it popping up on the initial page. And there's also a marketplace for you to look around for cute OCs that may catch your eye and turn into a new addition to your roster. Also, don't think I've forgotten about our 10k milestone special. I'm just waiting for us to reach that goal so I can pick up the OCs you've uploaded there and make fan art of them. Ah, so many cuties! Don't forget to check out Unveil by using the link in the description, so let's get right into the video. So to start off working on our cast, I had to go with Bloom. She's the protagonist, a totally random girl from Earth who happens to actually be a fairy. And she's actually a pretty badass one too. Oh, and she's actually a survival member of this one royal family and stuff, so that's cool. Anyways, she's exactly the type of character you'd expect to be the lead for a children's show, with the audience focused primarily on girls. I think you can't really go too wild with a personality for this type of character, because your audience needs to create a connection to fully enjoy the character's actions. She's portrayed as this brave and determined girl who's very compassionate and kind to others. She's also portrayed right off the bat as an artist, as when the show starts we get a close-up to a pinboard with a bunch of drawings she made. We also get exposed to the fact that she believes a lot in fairies, and that's seen as childish by her parents. Design-wise, I'm very fond of Bloom's overall looks. I love the combination of colors, and in fact I do for most girls, and that's why you won't see me change their colors too much. For Bloom, I wanted to really hammer in the artsy and dreamy aspect of her character in order for the viewer to really believe that she, at the age of 16, would blindly believe in the existence of fairies. To achieve that, I dressed her in a very nonchalant DIY style. She's wearing very handmade clothes, something that she got from her parents, and decided to spice it up with random things she found in her bag. There's some stitched fabric in her pants, some random pink buttons, and a heart patch. Her dress is also very simple and childish looking, and she wears slippers and socks. I know that's like very hard to some people, but I picture my Bloom being very personal with her fashion sense. and comfortability being a big part of it. I also feel like she wouldn't be so frustrated to get a cute bike instead of a scooter. I mean, the original Bloom wasn't so bummed for a long time, so that's okay. The biggest change, aside from her entire outfit, would be the texture of her hair, since I decided it would be cool for her to have waves, and I made it flowier so it could really give off a very fiery vibe, I guess, if that makes sense. It can be a bit interpreted like, you know, actual waves, which don't really match the fire, but I really wanted to change. I really thought it would be a nice touch, especially as most girls have a very similar texture of hair. And lastly, I wasn't really going to add much pink to her, especially because in later seasons of the show, they really tried to push pink as her main color, which I really doesn't like because I don't like red and pink as a combo, but I ended up giving in because as an accent color, it really helped to bring the entire outfit together and make it look interesting enough. So I hope you like my bloom. Next up is obviously Stella. She's the blonde, fashionable girl with a strong, outgoing and confident personality who's at times a little bit overdramatic, but has a really good heart. I personally really enjoy what she has for her character because you'd expect the blonde, fashionable girl to, well, be mean and usually very unpleasant towards the main character, but she really breaks that stereotype by being a very caring person and actually one of Bloom's closest friends. She's the crown princess of Solaria and is the fairy of the shining sun. Supposedly, she's of both sun and moon, but I feel like she's a lot more sun-centered than moon-centered. I'm not sure why, maybe it's explained deeper in detail in the actual show, but it's been a few years and I haven't rewatched it while making this video, so if you know, do tell me in the comments. Anyways, before we get into the design, I like to mention how I really appreciate her family conflict of having divorced parents. It's not something I see very often on kids shows, I guess, but as someone who has gone through the same experience, I can say that it's a type of representation that's really heartwarming and important to see on a kids show. It's a little touch that I really wanted to praise because I really like the episode where she turns into an ugly frog and has to rework her self-image to go back to normal. Now, design-wise, I really like her bold green and orange color combo. It's really striking and eye-catching, and her clothes really look like she's from a really hot place and is ready to jump in a pool at any time, which I find very fitting for a girl centered around the sun. So for my redesign, I decided to keep her fashion style a bit more mature than the other girls. She's trying to always give off this specific image of a grown-up woman who's very put together and has bold looks. I kind of took inspiration from beach and hippie fashion and just smushed it all together with some strings and shining gold details. Sometimes I really wish I was more knowledgeable on fashion terms because it really feels hard to describe my thought process without showing the actual million reference images I used to come up with this final product. You can notice I really didn't change her that much, but I'm pretty happy with the result itself. It feels like something Stella would probably wear. And now we get to one of my personal favorites, Flora. She is the kind and gentle feminine girl of bunch whose entire deal is plants and being very kind. I really like her original design and overall vibes. That even if she's not been so special, she has been my favorite one for a really long time. Her romance with the artistic guy is also a subplot for her character's assertiveness, I suppose, so that's also something she has going on. She's a fairy of nature and comes from the planet Lenthea. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. Her fairy farm is one of the most iconic in my childish mind. For her character itself, you probably find it rather jarring that I really stripped away the extremely feminine aesthetic she has going on. I decided to design her with a slightly more farm/cottagecore aesthetic, where you could actually imagine her digging on dirt and watering plants on her free time. So my version is really inclined towards utility rather than aesthetics. I don't believe it's better than the original, don't get me wrong. I personally really deeply enjoy her fashion and how pretty she always is. But I wanted to try and make her more teenage-esque and utility-driven, so it would show how she's very much into gardening and into plants in general as her special hobby. I visibly darkened her skin just because I can, but her overall palette of green and pink didn't change much. I do believe the green I picked for her is a lot more on the blue side than it is yellow, but I felt like it it would fit because Stella's green is already very yellowish and it will make them clash with each other. For accent colors, I decided to go with brown so she could look harmonious next to the other girls who are also extremely colorful. I made her the tallest of the bunch because I really had a human Fluttershy in my mind when working on Flora, and I always like depicting characters with this type of personality as really tall. Flora is definitely a lot more confident than Fluttershy though. I'm not extremely happy with her socks. I feel like they're a little bit bland and I was running out of time, so I ultimately just accepted that she was going to be like that. So her socks especially are going to bug me forever, but that's Flora. Our beautiful musically Musa is the next girl for this lineup. She's the music-driven girl who is emotional and introverted. She's someone who puts up a tough front to balance her emotional vulnerability. She's the fairy of music and, in my opinion, the fairy with the coolest powers. Her powers are connected to sound waves and sonic pressure, and if you look at her character wiki, where you can see all of the things she's done, I definitely say she wins on a scale of coolest fairies. Her overall character is a very pleasant one. She's an artistic girl, more so than Bloom I believe, and she enjoys dancing, singing, and playing on instruments. Her internal conflict is very driven by the loss of her mother and her father's absence, so I also enjoy that aspect of her. One thing I don't like about her is how much of a jerk her boyfriend is, and I believe she could get someone better. I've never been a fan of rocky, difficult relationships, and that's why I did not do Castiel's road in My Candy Love. And that's a shame because the relationship is a reoccurring storyline in the series. About the character design itself, I believe it's pretty solid, so as you'd guess, I didn't change it that much. Her original outfit is pretty simple on itself, but there's one thing I never noticed that really bugged me once I did notice. For some reason, her underwear is showing very clearly all the time. It's definitely a bold choice and it reminds me a lot of teenage boys that keep showing their underwear because for some reason, their pants are always falling down. But it is a bit odd and not something extremely necessary for her design in my opinion. So for my version, I relied a little bit on Y2K fashion. I decided to give her huge jeans leg warmers and some shorts with suspenders to match the leg warmers. I still wanted to keep her outfit loose looking, so I gave her a jacket and made the leg warmers asymmetrical and big. The cropped hoodie also just kind of felt like something she would wear, so I just went with it. Her and Aisha's outfits specifically were very vibe driven, so I can't really explain too much behind my thought process. My brain is kinda empty most of the time. And that's Musa. What do you think about her? Leave your opinion in the comments. So it's time for Aisha. I don't know if it's Aisha or Aisha. Aisha? I've seen people say Aisha, so anyways. I originally wasn't going to include her because she's a character I don't remember anything about. I guess I only really watched the first season of the show because Aisha shows up in the second season and I really didn't remember that. She's the fairy of waves and the crown princess of Andros. She's athletic, independent, and strong-willed. Her early story revolves around rescuing her friend Naboo and battling Lord Darkar. After that, her later arcs explore her struggle with loss and personal growth. She's a very pretty character and I personally really enjoy the way her hair is drawn and colored. I didn't have much to work with for her because my unfamiliarity with her, but I noticed she was often described as sporty, and in other redesigns I saw her in sportswear. So I decided to give her a sporty chic look where she looks dressed up, team jackets and long socks, but still looks very feminine and aesthetically pleasing. I try to be very careful when designing her because I know about the stereotype around making black girls masculine and tough when they're really not, and as Aisha is a very feminine girl in a very feminine show, I wanted to make sure I wouldn't make that mistake with her. Overall, I gave her a really long-sleeved short dress. It carries the aesthetic of team jackets, and also I put a jacket tied around her waist because it really screams sporty to me personally. Differently from other girls, I really want to keep her silhouette with tiny feet, so I didn't give her any specific kind of shoes or anything. Outside of her outfit, I visibly darkened her skin and made her hair into dreadlocks because I really like drawing dreadlocks, okay? Most of the tiny details in her outfit that you can see are to emulate written information, and I also sprinkled there the wavy symbols she has in her original outfit's shirt. Also, let's just not acknowledge the rampant whitewashing that happened in later seasons of the show, because how can a show from the 2000s be more inclusive and aware than the modern times reiterations? Why does she become white in the later seasons? That was super insane. So that's Aisha for you. And now we come to the one I was the most excited to talk about, Tecna! She's the fairy of technology and comes from Zenith. If you know me or have taken notice to my avatar, channel banner, and personal SeaWorld, where I speak about in a video, so you should definitely check out that video. You might have noticed I'm especially fond of cyberpunk and technological-driven aesthetics. So, Tecna is a character that recently has really caught my eye, and I have developed a huge liking towards her overall. But you see, there's the thing. The show and the audience itself seems to really dislike her, or at least not favor her as much as the other characters. She is treated very poorly, both by production and the character cast overall, having little to no screen time, being often forgotten and mistreated by the other girls for a gag. As she's a character I really like and people don't, I decided I could change her the most without anyone being bothered by it. Aside from the clear body shape change I made, I decided to make her aesthetic a bit more cyberpunkish, as you can see by the way she dresses. I put her in a dress because it seems suitable to me, as she's someone who's not very active and is around screens a lot. She wouldn't need much mobility and could be less utility driven than the other girls. I'd also like to believe that the overall cast would respect and appreciate her insight on things a lot more often, as being smart is a very admirable trait, and it shouldn't be ridiculed for gags. I mean, there can be some gags. I don't want to be like the boring person say don't make fun of smart people, but it's not funny all the time, to me at least. I changed her hairstyle a little bit, and you might have noticed I gave her those big tech thing on her ears, and there's no reason behind that. There's no real reason. It just looks like kinda technological. But if I will look cool, and then later on I decided that they could be like hearing aids for a hearing disability she just happens to have. I mean, not everything needs to serve a deeper purpose, right? I believe she would definitely read as one of the most mature girls of the bunch because of her very reserved and matter-of-fact attitude, paired with the girl's general respect towards her, knowledge, and technological abilities. That maturity would also make her awkward romance with Timmy way more endearing. Her color palette is my favorite out of the bunch, so you can guess I did not change it at all. And with that, we have a full lineup of the Winx Club civilian forms. I really enjoyed working on this, as apprehensive as I was in the beginning. I had a lot of fun with the art style and being able to play with so many different aesthetics. I would definitely love to redesign the furry forms too, and maybe rewatch the show to come back with more insightful changes for the cast. If you guys enjoyed the video and want to see more, don't forget to comment and leave a like to boost the channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe, please! I'll see you in the next video, bye!